Hello and welcome to First Steps in Polyamory. My name is Erin Kyan, my pronouns are he, him, and I am joined by a wonderful panel and we're going to go over some basic stuff in polyamory. So we have Patrick, pronouns he, him, Lisa-Skye, he or she, and Casey, she, her. All my relationships have been polyamorous. My whole adult life I've been polyamorous, so I don't have a cool coming out story or a cool getting started story because I'm just like this, I guess.
In all fairness, you went from confused teen to everyone's Uncle Erin.
Pretty much.
In 2 months.
Yeah, when I was 16, it just ticked over.
Yeah.
Like,
Who am I? What is identity?
Oh, hello.
Let me tell you a
Daddy's
story.
I would actually love to hear all of your, maybe realizing that you were interested in polyamory to your coming out stories very briefly. Patrick, do you want to start us off?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think I was in second year at uni. I'd just met this, I was still living in my parents' house at the time, just met this group of people who were all living in a share house together, started dating one of them, and then, and I was identified as straight at the time, but there was this guy who was living there. Oh, he was so intelligent. He was so verbose. My goodness! And he suggested, "Hey, why don't we all just bloody date? We'll just do this whole thing together."
Because you're a completionist.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. You want to collect the set. And so we all just started dating. He was the first guy that I fell in love with. And then I suppose my first warning for getting into polyamory was that this entire experience was a horrible, horrible time in my life. And polyamory is not the villain of this story. A narcissist within the polyamory circle is the villain of that story, because that became quite a controlling household under the guise of, no, this is what poly is like. It's not what poly is like. Poly is about communication.
Yeah, that is generally one of the first sort of tenements is talk to each other. So there's your first tip on polyamory is just talk to each other like humans. That's the first step. Just talk like humans. Lisa-Skye, what is your polyamory awakening?
I was 4 and I was in kinder and Nicholas was my boyfriend. And then another boy said, "Can I be your boyfriend?" And I said, "No, because Nicholas is already my boyfriend. But you can be my emergency boyfriend. So when Nicholas isn't here, you can be my boyfriend." And he was like, "Great." I'm like, "Yes."
And how did that
This
translate?
is the natural way.
How did that translate to your grown-up experiences?
And then nothing happened. Cut to my early 20s and starting to go out with my now husband, and then my mid-20s and doing everything wrong and being a garbage human because we're all works in progress and just making every mistake, almost as if I was given a list of everything to not do and we're
just decided to get it out of the way all at once.
Just did everything in the most toxic, awful and damaging way, and me being the toxic, awful, damaging element. So people now ask for my advice. I'm like, "How did you get started? You're so together. You know, you've been living with your boyfriend, your husband for many, 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 many years now. What's all this?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Trial by fire.
The scars are there.
I think that's really good to acknowledge that you were the problem, because I think that's a very difficult thing for us to admit to ourselves.
Yeah.
Especially when it gets to alternative lifestyle stuff and queer stuff.
Well, I call it the reverse chocolate cake. So if you eat chocolate cake now, it'll make you feel good, but then you'll get a sugar crash and you'll feel all bad if you have ADD and you shouldn't be eating sugar. But so for me, I spent years flagellating myself saying, I'm a terrible person. And if you say that you're a terrible person,
you don't have to get better.
Exactly. You don't have to do the work. Hey, stuff that.
That just explains a lot of people I know.
There's a great thing, a great piece of
You're still in your
advice.
20s, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, tiny child.
Could not pay me enough.
There's a really good quote that is a saying I've heard elsewhere, which is, if someone tells you that they're an asshole, believe them.
Yes.
First time.
Yeah.
Because I still do things that are kind of real, jerk moves. And then I have to step back and go, okay, how can I claim ownership of this, claim responsibility, what do I do? Instead of just being, I'm a bad person, meh.
Yeah. So Casey, what was your polyamory awakening?
I've kind of lived life a bit backwards. So I became a mum very young. Then I got married for 10 years, and when I was 34, I got divorced and became an empty nester, and all of my adult responsibilities were done. And so now I'm in all the dating and the
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
I know, and it's been 8 years and it's great.
Yeah.
And so,
Smash the back end out of
but
it.
see, the thing is too, is that I'd come out of 10 years of marriage and I'd come out of raising a child to adulthood, and I didn't want to be tied down. So when I was dating, I never thought one date made me your girlfriend, and I never wanted someone to hang around and wait while I was off travelling, because I travel a lot with work. And I didn't want someone at home going, when are you coming back? I miss you. Because I was done with that bullshit. And so I ethically wanted to see people and just enjoy the time I had with them and not feel responsible for them or feel that they were too connected to me. I also didn't feel entitled to ask someone to be my partner when I was gone more than I was home. And so I just sort of found it myself, and then it was my daughter sent me a link going, do you think you're polyamorous, Mum? And I went, it does sound like that, doesn't it? So I kind of accidentally
Your kid's
became...
amazing.
Oh, she's awesome. She is so cool. And so, yeah, I accidentally became polyamorous and just always saw it as ethical non-monogamy. But the strange thing is that as it raised in public consciousness and people would go, oh, so you're poly, right? I'm like, of a kind. You get people who are in relationships come to you for poly stuff, like wanting me to be their poly third, but they don't have the communication bit down. They haven't consulted their partner, and they just kind of see me as, oh, you'll f anyone. I'm like, actually, no, I have standards.
If you are a couple, if you are a couple and you're looking for a casual three-way, just please leave Tinder alone. There are so many sex workers of all
Seriously?
shapes, sizes,
Who are
price
wonderful and will
ranges.
give you exactly the experience you want.
Yes.
But playing with people on Tinder is problematic.
No, just see a sex work. Treat yourself.
This brings up something I think might be useful for this, is if you could all give me like sort of a mistake you made and also something good that you learned from that mistake, from your polyamorous adventures.
Go on, I've got Lisa's.
Yeah, go on then.
That you are going to feel jealousy, but you don't feel jealousy full stop. Jealousy is a wall, and then you have to peek behind the wall, and it's like, oh, I'm not feeling jealous, I'm feeling insecure about our relationship. Or it could be, in one really weird case, oh, I'm not jealous, but one of my partners is in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm shielding them from, which was a really tricky. So yeah, it's not, I'm jealous. Meh. It's like, all right, why am I? Oh, and also princess moments. We all have princess moments where it's like, it shouldn't be about me. And that should be kept inside of like, yeah, it shouldn't. But like just let your inner toddler kind of come out just in your head for a bit like, how can you be me?
I think to piggyback off that, I think knowing the difference between jealousy and envy is a really important thing. Like, you know, which are you actually feeling right now when you're seeing your partner do something with someone else? Are you feeling jealous because you're going, oh no, I feel like I am losing something? Or are you feeling envious because you just want that thing?
Yeah, because you've got a
can be really
sick
helpful.
rack.
Yeah, exactly. Like, exactly, like a sick rack.
Yeah. I'll get my coat.
I'm not sure how to term things in, or to label something as a mistake, but I try to learn from everything. One of the things that I've found difficult about polyamory and ethical non-monogamy is the fact that I think deep down I am attracted to a monogamous scenario, but I don't want to just immediately jump into that. To me, that will grow. And so it's managing that process from having very fulfilling poly encounters with a number of people, and then with one that is growing into something that I would like to be more, just managing the communication of that well, because I've had relationships where we fell in love, but we didn't communicate it well. And so we both hurt each other. And I think that that's difficult.
So I guess like if you are looking at polyamory, if you're like starting to explore it and head out, I guess the main things we want to impart to you is that like jealousy's okay, don't be too afraid of it.
One thing that I find difficult in poly is the ranking and the terms, and so you've got your primary partner, your
See,
secondary
I don't
partner.
do that.
Oh,
So-
no, I love
me,
that.
Yeah.
I'm process-driven, ADD.
I can't, because
Order,
to me
structure.
everyone's equal, and it's like same but different. So because often if you find a couple that's poly, and I'm a free agent, I don't want to join a polycule. I want to have the relationships I have with the people I have, and not really like feel like a third wheel. So it's managing that, and so that's why I prefer the term ethical non-monogamy to polyamory and all of that. Aside from polyamory is Greek
I think it's
and
like a
Latin.
lot of crossover.
Yeah. I think the only poly term that I do like to use is I'm polyunsaturated at the moment. Otherwise known as single. So
Delightful.
Yeah.
I love and respect you all for thinking that. I need in all of my life, I need routine and I need order and structure. So
And
I've got an
that's
org
like
chart.
good. And I mean that's the thing is like it doesn't matter what you do. What matters is how you do it.
Yes.
Like if you go into your relationships transparently, communicating well, knowing what you want, that's also really important. Please know what you want. It's very hard to screw that up immeasurably. Like if you just like again communicate and like talk like humans. This has been First Steps in Polyamory. I'm Erin Kyan. Thank you so much to the panelists for talking. And if this is something you're exploring, I encourage you to do so. It's wonderful. Thank you.